probably the most influential tool in my toolbox that I've evolved and been working with in the last, say, decade, probably like 10 or 12 years or something, is learning how to use the breath in the body as a way of feeling feelings and in a sense kind of achieving some degree of internal orientation, so that it's easier to know where I am in the moment. Because I think a lot of the time when circumstances develop quickly, we don't even know how we feel about certain things. We don't know whether we're in or whether we're out, and we haven't had time to ground ourselves to kind of come up with a conclusive sense of what we feel about any particular thing. So breathing consciously or breathing with awareness, that is, that there's a deliberate intention to breathe. It's not just the unconscious breath that keeps us alive and stops us falling on the floor going blue. It's a breath that's taken into the body with a particular intention, with a particular conscious awareness that the mind is observing that breath. In and of itself, it's not that dissimilar to any other breath, except that my awareness was on that breath. I take this breath with my full focus. And as I breathe consciously into my body, what I become aware of is that I can feel a sense of orientation within the body. I get a sense, I get feedback almost instantly about where energy might be holding, where sensations might be getting stronger around the stomach, around the solar plexus area, wherever it is. There might be parts of my body that I recognize are now in a state of numbness, that they've been cut off from sensation for a while. Another conscious breath into the body kind of gives me an opportunity to scan the body. This isn't some kind of like subtle, esoteric, make-believe thing. This is a genuine skill, a genuine ability that we all have to know what's going on with us in the moment, what's going on with us physically, what's going on with us emotionally, what's going on with us even potentially on an energetic interrelational level. So, for example, one might come into contact with somebody during the course of your day, and some agitation or sensations of hostility or annoyance or irritation come into the body. And I don't know about you, but in that kind of situation, especially if I don't know the person, my rational mind steps in very quickly and says, that doesn't make sense. I don't know this person. How irrational and ridiculous that I should feel hostile towards someone I've never met before. And the mental disapproval of the feeling suppresses it, makes it go away, makes it go down, makes it go somewhere else. Of course, it doesn't get kind of disappeared with a magic wand, but it gets pushed out of the feeling state. Because I can't make sense of it with my mind, I shall disapprove of it and cauterize it, make it impossible to feel it. What I've done in that situation is I've denied myself access to an essential feedback loop, which is providing me with information which could support my healing and potentially could support the healing of the person standing in front of me as well. This depends whether you adhere to the belief that we are a part of an interconnected universe. But as I understand it, everything in some way is connected to everything else. We're kind of all different pixels in the same picture. We might not know what the details are of the pixel that's 500,000 miles to our left or 500,000 miles to our right, but they're all a part of the same picture somehow. So coming back to our kind of conversation about emotional feedback from the body, just because I don't understand my feelings doesn't mean that they're not valid. There may be some validity in them. So I go back into that example that we were looking at where somebody's crossed my path. I can feel a sensation of aggravation or irritation in the body, and instead of mentally cauterizing it there and then, I have an opportunity to gently take a breath into the body, allow it to expand. Say to the body, it's okay. It's okay for you to have that feeling. I don't necessarily have to express the feeling. I don't necessarily have to say to the person in front of me, man, there's something about you I just don't like. That could generate confusion and upset unnecessarily for people around you and potentially for yourself as well. So there's a big difference between feeling a feeling and expressing a feeling. So in this example, I'm subtly taking a quick scan of the body and saying, oh, something in my stomach's gone really tight now that this person's walked into the ring. Something's going on there. So I make a note to myself, I make a kind of commitment to myself to investigate that place, to investigate that message, to look into that feedback. If not in the moment, then at some point shortly thereafter. I'm on the bus on the way home from work. I'm going to just check back in with that scene, breathe back into that place in my body that felt tight and agitated, and see whether a few breaths, a few conscious breaths, might just pop into a awareness, a small piece of information like, oh, that person really reminds me of my father. And maybe there's something about the father relationship that isn't exactly clear or easy. Okay, so there's a place that I can go to investigate, to support my healing. And I've listened to the feedback my body gave me rather than disapproved and suppressed it.